Ontario's four main party leaders squaring off in that first and only TV debate last night. There weren't any big surprises or knockout punches here. And predictably, the leaders debated affordability, healthcare, education, and leadership. To debrief and discuss the impact on voters, we welcome to CP24 tonight Erica Eiffel, columnist with the Hill Times, Charlie Pinkerton, deputy editor of the QP Briefing, and Aleem Kanji, principal at Aleem Kanji and Associates. Thanks to all of you. A lot to get through. I want to start with the post-debate reporting today. You know, this debate did not make the front page on the Globe. The Sun had this story on page 5. The Post saying Ford, quote, emerged unscathed. Erica, let's start with you. Did this debate have people talking?
Meh. I mean, there's a lot going on. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a believer that debates move needles. I think that everybody comes with their speaking points. They come with their prepackaged zingers for Twitter and for the news clips, and that's it. I don't really think you really dig much into policy or how it's going to affect other people in debates. It really is about the appearance and the theater of politics. I think the John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon debate in, I believe, 1960 said it all. And it doesn't really say who's going to be a better leader. It says who better performs on that night.
Okay, we got a meh from Erica. Charlie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a symptom of a few things that here in Canada, we have a multi-party system. And so in most of our debates that a lot of people watch, we have multiple leaders kind of, going back and forth in these weird formats, which I think was present last night. Like, I think Stephen Del Duca, for example, who I think had a good debate. He had just one, I believe, sort of one-on-one with Doug Ford. So, once that was over with, it's kind of like there's the cap of his night. So, I think in 2022, the parties and their leaders, they're looking to kind of get one or two good clips that they can then replay the next day, which, I think each of them did. But, ultimately, no, I don't think many people's minds were changed at all. But I will say that I was at the Green Party leader Mike Schreiner's event this morning, and afterwards we were talking in basically a small corner of a park, and some stranger did come up to him, recognized him, said he saw him on TV, and said he did a great job. So it doesn't mean nothing, but it's not really these huge, impactful kind of presidential level debates that we see out of the U.S.
Okay, Aleem, was there a key moment for you, that might change someone's mind? Was there enough last night to really move the dial for voters?
Well, first of all, I never got invited to any party post-debate, so I mean, perhaps that's indicative of how people felt about the debate. But in all seriousness, I think this comes down to three things. Are voters angry enough with the incumbent that they want change? That's the fundamental question in an election. I'm not so sure that is the case right now. There is no change mandate around this election. Is there a leader that they like better? We're not seeing that out of the polls, and we certainly didn't see that out of the performance of the debate last night. And the third point is, are you motivated enough to act? I think little of what was said last night will have changed the minds of the undecided, which are probably at about 10% right now, or motivate those that are ambivalent. So a little bit to do about nothing, but there certainly were some good zingers, good memes that are going to come out of last night, whether it's the coffee line from Horvath or the binder that everyone keeps talking about that may stick. But ultimately, I'm not sure this is a change mandate in the election that will be before us in 15 days.
Okay, well, one party is arguing that there is a change, at least in interest, following the debate. Google searches for Stephen Del Duca apparently skyrocket after the debate last night. Erica, what does this say about his performance and maybe his trajectory moving forward in this election campaign?
Well, I'm a big believer that attention doesn't equal conversion. Stephen Del Duca has to find a way for this new attention of his to actually turn out the vote. And I'm not sure that the Liberal Party has figured out how to do it. I would say, too, that there was a moment in the debate where Ford was talking and they had a one-on-one. And Stephen Del Duca seemed like he was sneering a bit. And I would tell, if were I on his campaign, I'd tell him to cut that going forward. Because it's true. Do people feel that Ford has done a bad enough job at the at the pandemic to change governments? And that's the other thing. I wished I heard more about Ford's record on the pandemic and what he has done the last 2 years. I'm surprised that Andrea Horwath and Stephen Del Duca and Schreiner, who I thought was the big winner in the debate, didn't say that more.
Okay, let's put this question to you, Charlie. Does attention equal conversion?
I cannot believe I am about to make this comparison, but do
it.
Kanye West is a very well-known person.
Wow, that was a sharp turn, Charlie. I didn't see that coming.
No, I think a lot of people, like Stephen Del Duca, he did well. Like Erica said, he during that one-on-one exchange with Ford, I think he got a lot of attention. The liberals that I talked to, I know they were super excited about this kind of metric that we're talking about right now. But there's another way of looking at it too. It's that maybe people don't really know who he is compared to the other leaders. Like even Mike Schreiner is a guy who, having been in the legislature for 4 years now, even though he did again have a good night, it's not necessarily a metric that says, oh wow, all these people are excited about Stephen Del Duca, because it can just as well be they were trying to figure out who this guy is.
Okay, Aleem, yeah, I'll let you come in on this. How much does this metric matter?
Well, look, we want to bring up the example of Mr. Schreiner. I think he was thoughtful. He spoke to voters. He was confident. He wasn't nasty or personal. Is this going to mean he's going to form government? Hell no. And he knows that. He's not going to be able to harvest that debate performance, kudos to him, into more seats. The Greens had 1 seat. The Greens will improve on their total vote count. I expect them to, out of this election, sucking up some votes from the NDP. They may double their vote count, but they're not getting more than 1 or maybe 2 seats coming out of this. I think the challenge, really, when you look at the NDP as well, is, in effect, I think Horwath was squeezed, trying to attack both Ford and Del Duca, and aiming to be both. I think she actually lost ground. I'm not sure Google searches mean anything, but the question will be, is she running against the current Ford government, or is she running against the 2018 Liberals? Kind of hard to tell from that performance yesterday. I don't know if anyone was Google searching that, but that's a key sign coming out of last night's debate.
Okay, we're running out of time here, but we are heading into this long weekend. People are going to get together. They're probably going to talk politics with their friends, their family members. What are those conversations going to look like? And do you think the debate last night will influence any of those chats, Erica?
Well, I'm not going to presume to know what people are talking about over a barbecue on May 2-4 weekend. But I will say this. I do think that the big question is about our public services in this election. I really do think the question is, are we going to stick with a government that keeps defunding them, or are we going to change something new? That would be my question personally, but I'm not going to presume that that's somebody else's.
Charlie, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that the PCs, as they have for a lot of this campaign, have maybe lucked into another situation. I don't think the weather's looking as great as it was last weekend. This upcoming weekend, perhaps that keeps people more indoors, with a smaller group of people talking about it less. They're so far ahead right now that with the debate not really moving the needle, a ton, if at all, I just don't really think it's going to matter that much.
Okay, just a few seconds left. Aleem, thoughts?
Inflation, cost of living, affordability. This is exactly what the people are talking about. This is the only thing that matters. Everyone's going to be talking about that. Those are the issues that matter to voters this election. We've seen it poll after poll. It is the cost of living, it is inflation, it is affordability, it is housing prices. That will be what is around the barbecue table and what will be served up this weekend amongst households. One quick thing I will add, if I may, is the 905 versus the 901. The 905 is the region, of course, that surrounds Toronto, which will determine who forms government. And the 901 is the club that has just been spawned that is the club that is looking to replace Andrea Horwath as leader, and that has been born out of her own party. And I think that is going to catch momentum, and people are going to start talking about a new leader coming out of the NDP after the election and even going into it.
Yeah, this is a big storyline we'll be sure to follow. Erica Eiffel, Charlie Pinkerton, and Aleem Kanji, thanks so much for your time and your perspective. We appreciate this, as always.
Thank you.
Anytime.